During the evening of Lantern Festival, Huo Qi, a servant in Shi Yin's household, took Yinglian, the little girl. This is Yinglian, this is Huo Qi. Took Yinglian, the little girl, outside to watch the fireworks. Just before midnight, Huo Qi left the little girl to wait in a doorway while he hurried around a dark corner to urinate. So he left in the corridor of the little house and went to urinate, and he returned a few moments later to find her gone, the little girl gone. All night he looked for Yinglian, and when he could not find her, he fled to another town to avoid the shame and scandal. He could not live with the shame and scandal. He was so afraid, he went away. Shi Yin and his wife were consumed with grief at the loss of their only child. They spent many days and nights sobbing for the little girl, and soon they both fell ill. The Lantern Festival and a huge accident, it breaks the whole family. Later that week, the nearby temple caught fire. The flames spread down the street and soon reduced the Zhen's house to rubble and ash. So the temple got fire, and Zhen Shiyin, his family, caught fire. Shi Yin was forced to take his wife and 2 of their servant girls to his father-in-law's house. However, his father-in-law soon began to grumble about Shi Yin and his habits. Shi Yin soon became overcome and with depression. One morning, he heard a Taoist chanting on the street. When Shi Yin ventured outside, the Taoist smiled at him and informed him that the name of his song was All Good Things. All good things must come to an end. 万事, I think I can find it. All good things come to an end. 叫万事好了，好了歌 ，yeah， 好了歌。All good things must come to an end. Shi Yin nodded, understanding the message, and followed the Taoist down the street. He was never seen again, and his wife, Mrs. Feng, was left back in her parents' home. One day, one of the servant girls was buying thread from a street vendor at the gate when she caught a glimpse of the newly appointed magistrate's sedan chair being carried down the street. She stared at the man seated on the sedan chair and wondered why it was that the new magistrate looked so familiar to her. So caught on fire, this must be the young lady, the same lady, must be the same lady, right? Yeah, changed clothes, but with a flower. And this magistrate looks very familiar. Let's see, this might be this same guy, right? 贾雨村 might be the same 雨村。That same evening, messengers arrived at Feng's household and demanded to speak to Zhen Shiyin. They had been sent by the new magistrate Jia Yucun, Jia Yucun, who had seen the servant girl Jiao Xing at the gate and remembered exchange glances with her in Shi Yin's old house. When he received the message that Shi Yin had disappeared, he was filled with sadness, but would not change his plan. Instead, he sent his messengers to the Feng household once again with gifts of silver and expensive clothes to try and persuade Mrs. Zhen to marry Jiao Xing to him as his second wife. So asked, okay, so this is the messengers, and messengers ask the wife of Zhen Shiyin to give this young lady, the nurse at home, to give this young lady to the magistrate Jia Yucun to be his second wife. That is the story. Within a year, however, Jia Yucun was fired from his post. He returned to his hometown and then, free as the air, began to travel around the country while staying in Yangzhou. Yangzhou is a beautiful city and south of China, a beautiful city. All beautiful. While staying in Yangzhou, he caught the flu, and once he had recovered, found that he had little money left to keep going. Luckily, some of his old friends arranged for him to become a private tutor to the daughter of a new salt administrator. Yanguan salt administrator. Salt is one of a big tax making business. Government charge salt tax, and it's true for a lot of country in the world. Lin Ruhai. Yucun arrived at the house and began to teach the 5-year-old girl, Dai Yu. After a year, however, Dai Yu's mother, after a year, however, Dai Yu's mother died of a sudden illness, and Dai Yu became too sick with grief to continue studying. To fill his new leisure time, Yucun began to take a walk after every meal. So Yucun became a teacher. He was fired from his post, and then he became a teacher and teach Dai Yu. This must be Dai Yu, 5 years old young lady. He taught. How can they taught like this? And his mother was too sick and passed away. Where is the salt administrator? Lin Ruhai. Where is Lin Ruhai? This is 雨村。On one occasion, Yu Cun wandered as far as the city outskirts to visit the Temple of Understanding, 灵通塔, the Temple of Understanding. Later, he entered a small inn near the temple only to be greeted by one of the patrons, who invited Yu Cun to join him for a drink. His name was 冷之心。冷子兴。Yes, 冷子兴。His name was 冷子兴, and he was a friend from Yu Cun's days in the capital. As they drank, Zixing mentioned the Jia family who lived in the Rong mansion, and remarked that it was hard to believe that each generation of the ancient family could not match the standard of the generation that preceded it. As they got up to leave the inn, they spotted Zhang Rugui, who had walked with Yu Cun in the capital and had also been unfairly dismissed. He told them that the imperial court had just issued a request for the reinstatement of former officials. So they had drink, they went to a temple, 智道寺, 智通寺, so the temple of understanding, and they chat around. They met old friend, they met Zhang Rugui, and Zhang Rugui told them that they will be going back to the former post.